Senator Alvarez Reyes.
What exactly do they mean by coordinate math, pass, and CAS?
So those are two of our tutoring programs that we have. So they're basically just saying, if you have tutoring involved in this thing, let's not offer it in this side as well. So that way they can pay less money to have those tutors.
I'm for eliminated first year experience.
Me too. Senator Stokes.
I'm really for 10% pay cut for administrators.
Me too. Yeah.
Oh,
Remove ourselves from the min-state system.
That one was a that's a bit of a big shot that would be very difficult.
Who's doing that?
yes,
Removing
it
us
would.
from the min-state system requires legislative action that we would need to lobby significantly for.
No.
Why would we do that?
He's at dean level salary.
Yes, replace VPs at dean level salary, probably one to look at. But removing ourselves from the mid-state system, that's like their 10,000 foot dream, because what it would do would force the state to allocate money to us outside of the mid-state system. Because the mid-state system is not allocating money to us proportionately to everybody else. So it would be, instead of us getting only 30% of, or only, a certain percentage of the min-state allocation, we would get our entire entitlement from state allocation.
What would a charge, like what would the online differential number 37 look like?
I don't know, because to me, I blocked that one out immediately and put that one in red, because in my head, I'm assuming that they meant charge more money to online students. Which is wrong.
Yeah.
That should not be the case at all.
Especially because they're trying to literally grow the online student population.
Yeah.
I like Team Zoom, pick one. I think it's kind of stupid how we have both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Teams works a lot better
Mhm.
too, and it fits in our system a lot cleaner.
There was a discussion about that, and I was also like dead on, let's get rid of Zoom, we already have Teams.
Yeah.
Some of the discussion about that was that our phone network relies on Zoom somehow. I'm not 100% sure how that works.
Yeah, it
But
does.
yeah, to communicate, and you can use Teams for that, but you can't make external calls on Teams phones. Senator Zelmer?
I enjoy number 26 and number 27.
Yes, so these ones are Mankato specific general requirements that we have in like the degree audit system, as these are things that you have to do to graduate. These are ones that they're very in favor of. Also, goal area 11 was one that they were looking at. That's your like activities credit. Yeah, well, you can still take these and you'll still need to have your 120 to graduate in your major or in your bachelor's, right? So you'll still have that opportunity to take those as electives instead. But it means that essentially by getting rid of some of these, they would have justification to cut those programs because less people would take them if they're out of the generals. Not necessarily programs, but courses that people snuck into the generals.
Could you also expand on number 35, running a 4-day campus?
Yes, so that would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday classes only.
like that.
Buildings are essentially, all academic buildings are closed on Fridays,
Oh, yeah.
and that would be,
Does that include the library?
No.
library would still be open.
Would that include the gym as well, or?
I'll let Senator Dietrich comment.
So academic buildings would be closed or they'd be open, but nothing would be in them? Cause like College of Business does that effectively right now, and like they have all of their faculty and departmental meetings on Fridays. So I guess, would that only apply to students or would that apply to faculty and staff as well?
Structure management doesn't have anything on Fridays at all.
Yeah, I believe that applies to both. I think that's everybody. The buildings are not to be intended for use if they would do that model. That one's very not likely, but a conversation did come up about doing it in the summertime.
Summer would make sense, but during the school year, would that not limit students on scheduling
Schedule, yes, it
flexibility?
would, and it would
So,
essentially
I
shift
disagree
us
with
to
that.
needing to offer more classes at night, is essentially what that would do to us. Senator Stokes, did you have something?
Oh yeah, I was just to address Jack, it shouldn't affect the gym because the gym is open on weekends anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I also know they did cut like the times a little bit this year as
Yeah.
well though.
Senator Wickersham?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, going back to either Senator Zelmer or Senator Hillstead's question about the library, if I'm remembering right. would this proposal to further utilize academic buildings on Fridays also mean that the library will have increased hours on Fridays? Okay,
No,
There's no way.
yeah, no.
okay.
Does anybody have any in here that they think are, heck no, we should not be getting rid of these, or no, we should definitely not be looking at this?
Just cut the university.
I agree.
Save all the money.
Yeah, so the ones that they've estimated out up here, these are ones that they have they're not seriously considering anything beyond first year experience, basically. So the rest of these are just ones that they are more likely to explore further, but not ones that they have distinctly said, hey, we're gonna do this.
I think number 18 would look like realistic.
Yeah, I was curious about that too, cause that doesn't
That seems
make
odd.
sense.
Yeah, there was conversation about it. I don't remember what number 18 would do.
Wouldn't that force every student to basically take
An extra
5
class.
classes? Yeah, because you would hit 9, you would hit 12, and then you would have to take the additional class to hit the banded.
Which credit is also supposed to be like a workload estimate, which I feel like would really screw students
Yeah.
over if like having a chemistry class and like a math class and all these things.
Yeah, and also our university is already heavily into the 4 credit classes, so switching now would probably cost extra money if anything.
Are there any other schools that are doing that at the moment?
Not that I know of. I think most schools have pretty flexible stuff. So Dietrich,
What's 31 about?
synergy with advising. Yeah, so that's their actual advising is not technically operated by academic affairs. It's external, and I think it comes out of the same budget from the general fund. So what they would do instead is to basically, they would grab the reins on the academic advising, and they would exert more control over it to make it more efficient is the idea, I think. This is a building that we are currently leasing. I don't exactly remember where that is. Can you look up 7700 France?
That's what I was.
Forest.
I thought it was a course too.
Extreme French.
I was pretty confused by 7700 France, yes, in Edina.
There's a center in Edina, yeah.
Yes, it's a
Why
satellite
do we-
location that we are currently renting. It does bring in students, but I had a critique about whether or not it actually brings in enough students to justify that, especially when more students are switching to online.
What's its cost right now?
That I don't know.
Okay.
But I do know
That's
that the reason why we have that is because we have an agreement with Normandale to host some lab classes at Normandale. So they have some in-person classes and some labs at Normandale. But I would assume most people that are taking those classes are taking also online classes and would not necessarily be opposed to taking more online classes if they were forced to. It's the lab credits in person that is the more important piece. Okay, before we adjourn, does anybody have any further comments they'd like to share? Any new business to bring before this assembly at this time? All right, seeing none, I call this meeting adjourned alongside Coordinator Jack Hanauer at 3:56 p.m.
Work on your transition
Oh, yeah.
documents.
Yes, do those.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Those are gonna be.
Where do we drop our?
I have to work on
The
mine.
friends.
Hold on.
Where? They're back over there, they're by the mic.
Alright, Tyler, where should we sit?
Why they're coming back? Probably.
Check, 1, 2, check.
Tyler.
Yeah, I remember our President Clinton.
Jackie Boo.
President.
I can't row.
I don't
President
understand.
You just want my Glazer donut.
Jack, you're not gonna come sit over here?
Thank you.
How dare you?
Speaking of what now?
Switching it up.
You saved you a slot.
What?
Can I please get a donut?
Where?
That reminds me.
Hey, roll badge.
They got knocked out in the first round.
Thank you.
High points.
I know. Don't even. I'm just glad I didn't put them as my number
You
one.
want to call?
But my number one is also gone, so.
I put them as
Jason, are
winning,
you?
but never better.
Okay, so you wanna do resolutions, you want me to do presentations?
I do.
Yeah.
Jason, I see you taking like headshots the other day.
Oh, no, they got knocked
I don't know
out.
nothing about nothing.
Like Ryan.
Blazers.
I didn't even look at Eddie got the review, I can say that. It's not good.
I don't know who she is. She came to the reference desk.
This is,
yeah, no, actually, it was split.
One half,
Basically half court shot.
not sharing the files.
Everybody's gonna see this.
It was just one of those things where it was like, she wanted to find the reason.
Is it a hard for anybody else? Did Iowa State lose?
The librarian that was there said that they were gonna screenshot it and stuff. So.
Cosmic Stardust.
And then I'll ask them.
Isaac.
Haircuts?
Yeah. Looks very nice. Thanks. I like your hair. Looks good today.
Thank you, I'm gonna cut it soon.
Let me know.
Not a problem. I got it, yeah.
Okay. And we're working to the Oh, the hospital chair.
Near the hospital.
Oh, no
I
way.
no Greg's coming over.
Tennessee
I'm
beat
gonna
out
do a
Iowa
file,
State.
that email that I sent, and say, hey, just a reminder, let me know.
So I've
What was-
5 years.
Awkward
Don't
psych
you out.
Is that already?
Oh, that guy's in Cyclone.
Won that.
I know.
But if it's
I was watching
Sunday, then I can.
See what my
So
bracket's
it
standing
should
at.
be, it should be something that.
I have some more points.
Never
That's
had
not too well.
anybody
I haven't had any questions. Charles.
Why didn't you run?
Technically, I'm
That is
supposed
something
to,
that we-
but I don't.
Okay, so I can, I have. Are any of my picks still good?
I told you you could leave early to go get out.
Bro, my bracket's so bad. I have Florida State winning.
I got too involved in
The entire
video game on
mini
my
meeting.
computer.
Every few minutes I would unplug it, then replug it in.
Oh, it's one of those, yep,
And then
yep,
cover it.
yep, okay, yeah, I
That's
know.
what I'm gonna do, and maybe some strawberries.
Sorry, I meant nothing by it, I just. Jonathan's here today.
What is he doing?
Oh, yes, yeah.
You want me? What are you doing here, Fitzgerald? That's what I'm asking.
He fits in my jail.
You're to announce my sport.
It's been a while.
I think I know what you. No.
Not doing the Senate meeting, please.
Yeah, not in the chapter. We actually don't talk about that in the chapter. Thank you.
Was it about what?
I'm announcing that I'm busy.
I like this.
And I see it. No, you weren't on it, you didn't make it.
It's just live. Thank you.
That was funny.
I didn't know. It was nice. I got to
I've
get
said
to
worse on the live stream, I'll be honest. I keep forgetting we recorded, I keep saying this.
I get 1 week out of the sun.
So like Thank you. Did you get it? Thrifted it at Goodwill. I had it for like 50 cents. Got a bracelet too.
Next magic.
Oh, that is funny.
That's so good.
I would love to hear your thoughts.
You know, I got a little bit of everything. Yeah, me too. And I think, I don't know if it's where it came from, but there's a little bit of that is giving me the ability to not sunscreen. I don't sunscreen. My 21 years
debating
old.
getting a new one.
I have no sunscreen or nothing, I don't. But.
We can add you to the group chat.
But yeah, I think the library should be.
You got a donut, David.
Yeah.
Did Jack say anything else?
Like, what, you're not free on Easter Sunday?
I'm actually not going back to Easter though. I'm going to Indianapolis.
Sober and reading through the results, you know, like, because it was like, like showed if there's like any.
I'm about to. Alrighty,
Stayed away
everybody.
from a lot of that, but still.
Calling this meeting to order at 4:01 p.m. You will give just a moment to get this pulled up. All right, I would like to start off with a land recognition statement. Oh, and we don't have a mic. It's right here. Perfect, thank you.
Start off this meeting with a land recognition statement. Student government acknowledges that we live, work, and learn in the homeland of the Dakota people, whose language frames our institution's name, Minnesota State University, Mankato. With that, I move on to roll call. I believe one person is missing on this list, and please call me out if that is true. Senator Aubert? Senator Heiber? Senator Kadabe? Senator Vaughn? Senator Dietrich? Senator Olson? Senator Reyes? Senator Nguyen? Senator Woodward? On Zoom, okay. Senator Zelmer?
Body and soul.
Senator Cumming? Senator Hillica?
Here.
Senator Androli?
Here.
Senator Willie? Senator Belschner? Senator Stokes?
Ready for action?
Senator Hillstead?
Present.
Senator Alvarez Reyes?
Here.
Senator Conlon? Senator Beckerman? Senator Liu? Senator Ray?
Here.
Senator Wickersham?
Here.
President Colleran? And Vice President Coughlin. All righty, is there anyone that was missed? Then I will assume, yes, is it, how do I spell it? Knauer.
UER.
We had this issue last meeting. I figured there was one. There we go. You'll be down in the next one. All righty, moving on, we have the approval of the consent agenda. Do we have any dissents against the consent agenda? Oh, Wickersham?
Motion to move the resolution to change the sustainability cap before the tech fee.
Second.
All right, second. Do we have any dissents? All right, with that, we will have a change to the agenda that the resolution for the sustainability fee cap resolution will happen before we discuss the sustainability fee. Okay. Yes.
Before tech fee, so.
Is it before tech fee? Thank you. I'll make sure that's down.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Just the resolution and not the sustainability fee itself?
Yes. Okay, seeing that we have no dissents to the consent agenda, that passes. All right, moving on, we move into presentations. We have one presentation from Residential Life about room and board. I will have that up on the board for you in just a moment.
You're good. I would like to introduce Patrick, our RHA president, who will be presenting, and then I'll be here to help answer questions.
Howdy. I do it better this way during my meetings. Okay, so hi, I'm Patrick Leonard. I am the RHA president, soon to be former, I suppose, as we move into elections. I'm here to talk to you about the rate changes from this year into next year, along with any improvements that the body of students who live on campus have suggested. Starting off, we'll get into a bit of an overview of my presentation. Do I have a clicker somewhere? Thank you. We're going into budget assumptions for this coming year, followed by the base rates in room and meal plans, and then any improvement options. It'll be relatively short, I believe. So next slide, please. As you might imagine, a vast majority of the revenue came in from room and meal plans, total revenue being around $31.5 million of the past year. Expenses are a bit more varied. Employee expenses have been totaling around $7 million, followed by dining at $9 million, utilities at 1.4, which had a bit of a market increase, as I recall, from year over year. It's not written down, but from old presentations, I believe. Supplies and equipment, obviously, other operations, $4 million, and then facilities improvement is always on our mind as buildings age at $10 million and change. When I say facility improvement, a vast majority of that is servicing debt for the newer buildings, Prescott and Julius Sears, is that correct? Thank you. Followed by renovations and then repair and replacement. As buildings age, students break things, we gotta replace them. So here we are. Next slide, please. When I say renovations, I mean the G Hall windows need to be replaced. They're getting kind of old. I'm not sure who here has lived on campus. You know what I mean. Things get rather aged. Sorry, that one, if you don't mind. And then C Hall, that's Crawford, sinks, flooring, and wardrobes. If you've been in C Hall, you know that they are required. Thank you. So upcoming budget assumptions, very straightforward, if I'm being honest. There are projected increases in salaries at 5%, health insurance at 7.5, student wages 3 to 5, we're not quite sure yet, and then workers' comp also 3 to 5, tied hand in hand with wages. Dining 3.5% to be expected with the new contract. Utilities at a 20% increase, though it's already been recognized in this current year. Supplies and equipment staying flat overall, and then other issues is 5%. Not bad considering everything else. I have handouts here. You guys all have them, right? Yeah.
Are we missing some?
I gotta have one. You'll see that the proposed rate is in column E. You'll notice that the ones that you might be used to increasing, which are the suites, are staying relatively flat year over year. The single suites, rather, are staying flat year over year, only because they've been increasing very rapidly over the past few years, and we're trying to curtail that by absorbing the impact in other room types. Next slide. So RHA, part of the process of making these rates, can propose and vote on rate increases for certain specific improvements. They were all proposed and turned down because, save for one. Next slide, please. We'll show you these. Increased berries at the UDC, ranch pumps, chicken nuggets for lunch as well. Not my idea, but it was proposed. TVs in all floor lounges, paper towels in the bathrooms. I'm not sure how much you guys have done budgeting with students who really aren't immersed in the institution, but they're very shocked when they see the actual dollar value actually realized on paper. Next slide, please. You'll see that one did pass, and that is additional towel holders in Prescott. Just because it's 5 to a room and having only 2 is sort of inconvenient. But beyond that, none other passed. Next slide, please. Now it's questions and discussions. So who has questions and or points?
Hold my mic. There we go. Senator Hilliker.
Thank you, Speaker Andre. So my question is about the 5% salary raises. I just wanted to know like what the distribution was, who's seeing the most out of the 5%, or is it 5% like across the board?
It's our best guess at where some of those things are going to change depending on different staff and different unions and the way the contracts were negotiated. Like that's a standard percentage that we usually put in because we don't know what range it's going to be in. So it could be a little less than that, but that's kind of when we're budgeting, we try to generally budget with that.
Thank you. Senator Zelmer.
Thanks for coming in. My question, I've had it for a while, since last year. Why is the Maverick 14 more expensive than the Maverick Anytime meal plan?
It's a great question. So the dining program that we have is built on missed meals. So like on a 14 meal plan, you are most likely going to eat all of those meals. Whereas on an anytime plan, you may eat all of those meals, you may not eat all of those meals. And that is kind of a sliding scale that Sodexo uses to kind of be able to set their budgets and that kind of stuff. So the cost of that plan is a little bit more because you're expected to actually use all of it.
Thank you. Do we have any other further questions for the presenter? All right, seeing none, we will move on. Thank you so much for your presentation. Moving on into our open forum. Do we have anyone for open forum? Yes, go ahead.
Pass that around.
Howdy y'all, Sam Steiger from Campus Recreation and Maverick Adventures. Happy April. I'm here on behalf of Maverick Adventures to introduce to y'all that it is officially Earth Month as of today. Maverick Adventures a number of years ago took Earth Day, expanded it a little bit more into Earth Week because we saw a lot of opportunities around campus that shared in celebrating our Earth's resources. And that week became so packed that it got expanded into Earth Month. So the last few years we've been doing Earth Month. I'm passing around just a quick thing you can grab. It directs you towards Mav Life as an app. I'm also passing a poster around the opposite direction. If you'd like to snap a picture of that poster just to conserve resources, I did just bring one. So grab a picture of it. It'll bring you to the Mav Life app where you'll see over 20 different activities that are curated by Maverick Adventures. I don't want to take credit for all of those activities. There's a handful of them that are being done by my colleague Madison Vandersea and myself. However, we've partnered with areas across the entire institution, including some RSO groups that are doing activities that fit into the Earth Month schedule. So check it out. There's tons of ways to be involved. We've got some bike rides coming up. We've got some volunteer opportunities coming up. One of my favorite events is the Indigenous Astronomy event where we take students out to Jeffers Petroglyphs. It's about an hour away, but it is a great historical site with some petroglyphs that are so old you won't even believe it. But we go out and we listen to some storytelling and look at the stars. We partnered with the astronomy department, so there'll be some telescopes and some ways for you to be involved there. But check it out. Earth Month is going to be going on all of April. If you have any questions, feel free to contact myself or Madison Vandersea. We just want to help bring the entire university together and focus a little bit on the importance of our Earth. I stand for questions.
Do we have any questions? Senator Wickersham?
Hi, thank you for coming. Is there any way that student government can support you guys in Earth Month activities?
Senator, that is a great question. I think there's a lot of ways, talking to constituents about the opportunities. Also, if I could ask, you to connect with your social media groups, because Maverick Adventures is pushing a lot of social media across all of the different channels. We even have a press release that went out through the university today, and I can get you a copy of that. But thanks, we'd love for the help. The more students that are aware of this, the better the month is going to turn out.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? All right, seeing none, thank you so much for your forum announcement.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else for open forum? Yes, go ahead.
Hi, guys. Nice seeing all your faces again. If you don't remember, I'm Logan Melby, president of the Interfraternity Council.
And my name is Shelby Rorick, president of the Pan-Atlantic Council.
The action taken by student government last Wednesday was a surprise. This decision will have a meaningful and negative impact on the things we're able to do as a community in the next academic year, and a reduction of this magnitude has the potential to have long-lasting impacts beyond just the next year, and this is very concerning to us. Since we were not able to be present for the discussion that resulted in the vote to further reduce the fraternity and sorority life recommendation beyond what SAC recommended, we are left in the dark and wondering what feedback we can take to our community that will help us move forward. For the other departments whose budget lines were adjusted, there was open discussion that helped make it clear why the adjustment was made. We don't know why ours was modified and would be interested in knowing. Again, since we were not allowed to be present for the discussion, we are concerned that recent situations involving some individual people associated with FSL community or strained personal relationships may have affected the conversation that was held behind closed doors. We hope this is not the case, but is not something we are able to rule out based on what little we know about the conversation. It is important to recognize that fraternity and sorority chapters address work through situations involving their membership. These processes can involve difficult decisions that may not always be universally supported. However, the broader reality is that the vast majority of members have deep, positive, and meaningful relationships. They build lasting experiences, find a sense of belonging, develop leadership skills, and contribute significant ways to give back to both the university and our surrounding community. We are committed to being strong partners and fostering a vibrant and inclusive student experience at MSU. To that end, we respectfully request continued dialogue to better understand your perspective and to identify ways we can continue to contribute effectively. We welcome the opportunity to answer questions, address any concerns that may influence this decision, and discuss how we can move forward collaboratively. If there is openness to reconsidering the reduction in funding, we would greatly appreciate that opportunity as well. As we noted, the recommendation as is will have an impact on not only next year, but likely an impact beyond that. I stand for questions or comments.
Do we have any questions or comments? Vice President Coughlin?
Hi, thank you so much for coming. So few things that I want to let you know why we did what we did is firstly, one of the senators asked it to be just us and the other one seconded it, so nobody really dissented it, and that was the reason why it was just with us. I myself was not aware that it was just going to be us, but the senator thought it was for a specific reason, and as student government leaders, we respected the senator's choice. During the discussion, when we were talking, majority of us felt like it's a difficult time for students right now with all the budgeting, and majority of us felt like FSL did not really needed as much budget as they were getting. And I'm being very honest with you guys, because honestly, and right now, currently, there are a lot other organization that really needs that money, and we decided to remove few of it from you guys and give it to food pantry. I know that is not an ideal situation for you guys. I know it is frustrating for you guys, and we do completely understand that. However, when you put yourself in our position, we here have to make difficult decisions. We did not want to cut athletics fund from 6% to 1% either, but we did that as well. And we know we are not. We will not be getting, clappings for those. We will be asked questions by athletics as well, and we're ready to give that answer to them as well. I think that is one of the reason. And the other reason was FSL is you guys have fundraisings. You guys do a lot of fundraisers, and there's a lot of way for you guys to take your get budget or get that revenue from somewhere. And I believe when all the students are right now worried about tuition increase and all of that other funding, and I know it's not a huge sum of money, but I believe you guys have the chance to get that revenue from somewhere. And I think that was a majority of the Senate's decision. Yes, there were a few people who were objecting it because they had relation with FSL as well. I think most who objected that decision was because they had relation with FSL. But other than that, I believe everybody else thought that it is best to cut budget right now, because right now some other organization needed it more, such as food pantry or KIC. Once again, I would like to apologize to you guys because it might put you guys in a difficult situation from my entire Senate. However, if you put yourself in our shoes, it is really difficult for us to make that decision, and we had to. I am open for any questions if you guys have any question for me.
I just want to say thank you for that feedback. With the fundraising, all the fundraising we do goes to other resources. So like, for example, a lot of us do Mabathon, which anyone can do, and all that money goes to Gillette's Children's Hospital. Another way we fundraise is through the pancake breakfast during family weekend, and half that money goes to Mabathon, the other half goes to us, but it's very little because of how many people actually buy tickets. Does that kind of make sense for that part?
Thank you. Moving on through questions, Senator Wickersham.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you for your presentation and coming back. I see that you have a speech written out. Would you mind answering which one of you wrote the speech? I'm curious.
It was a collaborative effort from both of us.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Stokes.
Hi, thank you, Senator. Thank you, Speaker Andrew. Thank you too for showing up again. I would just like to say I was the senator that motioned for an executive session, and it was not out of a lack of wanting to communicate with you or the FSL in general. It was more out of a respect to our Senate, out of possible interference or possible persuasion or sway from the gallery being present, and how members of the gallery are both both parts of student government and the FSL, and it was more to limit any sway that senators would be feeling in that certain situation. It was not a reflection of your communication or the topic at hand. It was more to make the senators here feel more comfortable in their opinions and how to express them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments? Senator Hillstead.
So I know for me, I was the one who motioned, or I was the author of the motion to decrease the budget. I just have a question about enrollment numbers, and if there's any chance you could provide like a document that shows them and shows where they've been and the trends that they've been able to, that they've been going throughout the last 5 or 6 years.
We definitely can, not right at this moment, but I definitely could share that document.
Perfect, thank you.
Quick question, I'm so sorry. When would you want that document by?
Anytime works.
I would say preferably within the next 2 weeks, I would say, for helping with procedurals. Senator Nguyen.
Some quick feedback regarding any personal feelings. Brandon, it was a roughly 24-4 vote from the Senate, so I would think there's roughly maybe 3 people from FSL. But even if we took out 3 people from FSL from that group, I don't think a 21-4 vote would have swayed any other decisions.
Thank you.
Do we have an opinion from the gallery? Yes.
You call on me?
We have a yield. Yep, thank you.
This is unusual for me to speak on a topic like this. First time really in my 12 years, 13 years that I've spoken to the Senate about a topic that you've made a decision on overall. I will ask the Senate to think about this, and I'll ask you a question. During this deliberation, did you recluse the senators that are Greek or maybe had issues with the Greek community from being involved with that discussion, which is typically what people would do when you're having a discussion, so that there's no personal bias that
Point of
goes.
information.
Yes.
All members of the Student Government Senate are allowed to be present. It is their right as a member.
Thank you. I didn't say they weren't able to be there. I'm saying usually when you're trying to take out bias, it's important to make sure that people that are immediately involved with some of this topic are not showing any bias towards the topic, in this case, voting on that part of it. So I want to make sure that I do all this for the students. I'm very involved with SAF. I'm a SAC advisor. I want to make sure that fairness is involved when it comes to discussions like this. And I realize some of you are going to say this as well, and I'll say it right to you. Student activities, fraternity sorority life is part of under my area. And I realize some of you might think that's a conflict of interest. my point by bringing this up is make sure that fairness was taken into account related to this budget, and that some individuals that potentially had strong feelings related to this topic didn't sway the group, or should have they been allowed to speak towards this if there were biases related to this topic. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
I would like to remind everyone that this is a question and answer and not a discussion about our FSL decision. With that being said, I would like to remind everyone that you are completely allowed to ask any questions you have, but let's keep the discussion points to a minimum. Thank you. Vice President Coughlin.
Thank you, Mark, for asking that question, so I can give a very detailed answer on that. So the senators who were explicitly involved with FSL were, I believe, Senator Knauer, Senator Vaughn, and Senator Nguyen. So all three of them were present in that room, and they have been members of FSL before, and I think currently are as well, few of them. All three of them were given a chance to vote. They did not put any point out that was out of personal conflict. Personally, I have never been in relationship with FSL as a member myself, so I don't know what goes in there or what goes out of it, but we did not remove a single senator. Everybody has a voice. Some had for it, some had against it. All of us listened for it, and most of it, like Senator Wen mentioned, there was 20 to 21 to 4, I believe, or 22 to 4, and that was I would not say a unanimous decision, but that was way more than majority. And even if anybody had personal conflict against FSL, that was not brought on the floor, and that is not the reason why we as student government leaders decided to make that decision. Personally, I was not aware that there is any personal problem with FSL, honestly, with any senators. But even if it was not brought out in that meeting, and that was not the reason why we decided to cut the budget. The main reason we decided was
Anything decided in executive session should not be talked about if possible, unless that person in executive session who shared that specific point of information would like to discuss. With that being said, this is still a question and answer discussion. Do we have any further questions for the presenters? Senator Aubert.
Answer part 2, right? Because they asked a question.
Yes, you can answer a question that they have asked, but yes.
Additionally, with that, you said we're not supposed to talk about executive session. However, there's one part that does answer their question.
Was it something that you added on in executive session?
Yes. Okay.
Then if it's something that you had spoken on, then you can. Yes, Senator Aubert.
Thank you. So I personally voted in favor of reducing it, and as Vice President Coughlin said, I'm really sorry. I know that it's extremely difficult right now for the entirety of the student body, and the lack of funding is really hitting. However, when we were looking at the numbers, we had done math on the big whiteboards that covered the room. I don't know if you remember those. And we were just weighing into account the amount of students that it truly impacts at the end of the day, where our funding is going. And so I hope that you guys do great with what we are able to give you right now. But it was made on mathematic decision of who's being impacted, how the funds are being allocated.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Do we have any other questions for the for FSL? All right, seeing none, we will move on to, do we have any other open forum who would like to speak? All right, seeing none, we are going to move on into Dean of the Day. Our Dean of the Day today is Michael Olson, if you would like to step up to the podium.
Thank you, and thank you, Senators. It's a privilege to be here with you today as Dean of the Day to represent the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. I'm the interim dean for this year, and we will have a new dean starting in the fall. So April is a busy month for everyone on campus, and in HSS, that's no exception for us. Between our music performances, our exhibitions, theater performances, our impact in the community, with our Center for Economic Education, our Chesley Center for Aging, our Kessel Peace Institute, all the student presentations and programs we have going on. There's a lot going on campus. I encourage you to attend those. I also want to say a thank you to this body. I know you have a lot of work to do in student activity fund allocations, and of course, we can't support the arts and cultural activities on campus without your support, so we appreciate that. And with that, I'll stand for any questions that you might have.
Do we have any questions? All right, seeing none, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, moving on into, oh, John, sorry, I didn't see you back there.
Sorry, Speaker Andrew. I see and just noticed that Senator Reyes is not here right now or online, I don't believe. May I make a remark regarding the Election Commission?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me double check to make sure that he's not online.
I'll have announcements later.
He is online.
He is. Okay,
Let's see. Senator Reyes, do you have anything you'd like to add about the Election Commission? They said you can if you'd like.
Sure. Thank you. I will have announcements that are not related to student government later, but regarding the Election Commission, we know that the student government election for this year is coming up in less than 2 weeks now. So on Monday and Tuesday, the 13th and 14th of April, you will have the election for next year's leadership. As of right now, the Election Commission is still working to staff two different locations on campus where there will be voting. They will host a laptop at 2 different locations. And we have about 16 hours of coverage over those 2 days that the commission is not able to cover themselves. And so if you are sitting around this table and you are not supporting either publicly or privately any candidate for election, or if you're not running for election yourself and you would be interested in assisting with staffing an election booth, you can see me. Manny may share this also out via email, but we are looking to cover about 16 hours of election booth coverage. One will be hosted here in this building, and one will be hosted around mealtime in the dining center. And so we are looking for volunteers to staff those still. So please come see me, and then I'll encourage Senator Reyes to send that out for people to sign up as well. But we are looking to cover 16 hours still. So that's what I have about the election. Also, just as a reminder, the candidate forum will be next Wednesday at noon in the Hearth Lounge of the Centennial Student Union. I believe it's Hearth Lounge. Manny can correct me if that's wrong. There are some years where we've had to change location, but I believe that's where it will be. So get ready for election season. We're coming right up on it.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? All right, seeing none, we will move on into officer reports. First up is President Collin.
Well, hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. It's been a hot second since I had my officer report this early in the meeting, so I'm just celebrating that right now. And so enjoying that. So I recognize that we have an unprecedented amount of items in new business, so I'll try to go as fast as I can. As discussed in committee today, there was conversations of media confer and tuition differentials. So it's conversations on paying students paying extra tuition for different courses as opposed to just general tuition. The biggest courses that we're looking for tuition differential is biology courses, chemistry courses, business 295, and computer science projects. So those are the biggest things that we have for differentials for tuition that are covered, I think, in Academic Affairs Committee, so we should be good to go with that. As I said during announcements during budget meeting, the next item I have is transition reports. This is the item that I'll have on my office report for the rest of my term. When it comes to transition reports, like this is the most important thing that we have when it comes to a Senate between the budget meeting and inauguration. So I'm just going to encourage y'all as much as I can to do transition reports and to have it done by May 1st as Senator. Again, the resources are in the Teams folder under transition reports. There's already a template and an example for you right there. So if you have absolutely any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to me. I'll provide as much information as I can. Finally, second to last, last month's thoughts. When it comes to looking to the rest of the calendar for student government, we have three weeks left. 3 more Senate meetings until we get to inauguration and into the 94th Senate. So with that, there's a lot of things I have to do on my plate as well. I'm sure there's some things y'all have to do on your plates on top of that. So I just want to put things into perspective for y'all for that, because we have a Senate meeting on April 8th, April 15th, and April 22nd. And April 15th, we were having to split in half because we have student government versus academic affairs for bowling. And for April 22nd, we have split in half as well for inauguration. So we're looking at roughly, 4 hours of Senate time for the rest of the academic year.
after this meeting. So that's a very short amount of time. So if you have absolutely any products you want to do or anything you want to articulate to the Senate across the rest of the time of the 93rd Senate, next week is the time to do that. I'll be doing that on mine when it comes to all tasks that I have. I'll be happy to support you on what I can on those tasks as well. So I just want to make sure that's very clear over to y'all. So last thing I have is recognizing that March is now over. It's April 1st, and with that we have a new Senator of the Month. I'm going to the next month. So I'll do my award. I'm sure VP Kathleen will do hers as well. So when it comes to my award, it's my Senator month is almost always someone who has been astounding for a particular month. Though when I give this award to this person, I'm looking at their performance across the entire semester. I see a astounding performance across the entirety of the spring semester, not just this past month. The Senator has done a lot of pivotal work behind the scenes, whether writing minutes from meetings, helping expand cabinet members' right to communications to administration, and all around just being a really positive person in his work environment, while being the only Senator that represents their type of seat. Their presence means a lot. I look forward to seeing this presence continue as we close out this academic year, whether it be through role as a Senator, a Personal Health Services Committee, and also the Academic Affairs Secretary. So Lilith, can I ask you to come up and receive your award?
Are we doing photos?
Oh wow, we have one up there today.
Jack needs one of these. Half salad.
I've been looking over it all the time.
It's funny.
Okay, that's everything I have. Do y'all have any questions? Senator Belsner.
Transition reports?
So if you want to submit your transition report, submit in the same folder that you find the resources. So when you look in the Senate Teams, there's the main folders over there, and one of those folders is transition reports, and just submit it right next to the template and the example.
All right, VP.
Hi everyone, it's April. Last few weeks. I hope you guys are as excited as I am because I've had a year. So before I even start my officer report, I want to reiterate something here. We got done with budget meeting last week and it was amazing. Everything was good. And we did have some conflicts in there. We did have difference of opinion and that is okay. That is what we are here for. Having difference of opinion, presenting your opinion out there, that's completely okay. But when that opinion turns into personal attacks, that is not. And I do not deal with it when it is made to others, let alone myself. I want all of you to understand that all of us are here to represent student body. All of us have put us our time. And when, just because I'm putting my opinion out there, you are not allowed to personally attack me. Sending a long paragraph afterwards is not going to help. And that is not going to solve the issue. Anyways, just putting a point out there, and let's remember we are all grown up adults, and we all can handle conflict. We all should be able to handle different opinion, and if you cannot, that is where you are incompetent as a leader, and that is not where you come and ask me questions because I am your vice president. You better act like one with me because I'm not here to deal with tantrums. Okay. Okay. Going forward with my officer report now. Starting off with meeting updates, upcoming meetings. We do have only a couple of meetings left. So the first one is with President Inch on Tuesday, and the second one is with Vice President Morris on that very day. That is when me and President, oh wow, okay, background music, you guys. That's when me and President Koran go to those meetings. So if you guys have any questions or concerns that you need us to take there, please let me know. And for President Inch, she's also coming on Senate, I believe, next week. So if you guys have any questions, I know you guys have a lot of questions, so please get prepared for that. Be prepared to ask him questions regarding anything and everything. And I hope he's able to answer all of your questions. The next one is about past meetings. So we did not have a lot of meetings last week, but we did have some important ones, starting with meet and confer. I think President Gordon already covered tuition differential. So we did talk a lot about allocation model. That has been one of the topics. Oh my God. Okay, allocation model, that has been one of the topics that we have talked about a lot. President Inch and VP Gillespie are still trying to go out there and make sure. Oh my, I cannot focus, you guys. Okay, okay.
We can all listen to his beautiful soul. Okay.
It's okay. I'll try my best to finish. Okay. So President Inch and VP Gillespie have asked us to talk to legislator. I know a lot of you have done that, and I'm really grateful that a lot of you have done it as well. The other one is also about budget management. So VP Gillespie came in here and talked about us being in, possibly being in 20 million budget deficit next year. So there are different ways they are planning on reducing that. That is a deficit that is going to increase every year. So they do plan to reduce it through different ways. Okay. No, it's okay. Let me finish it, okay? So there are a couple of ideas that they have presented to us. I do have a form. I can send it over to all of you guys. We thought it is not good to send entire student body the form because we don't want students to worry when it is not a problem. So I can post the form in the Senate channel for all of you. And if you guys have any strong opinion on anything, please put it out there. We also did talk about Armstrong Hall and how that has been how we've brought that up. And the other one is future state. Future state is actually going really good. With that, I think I will actually motion for a 5-minute recess right now.
30 seconds? All right, excellent. Seeing that,
I call a brief. Maybe it's over. Maybe we're okay. Maybe we're okay. I also think we should clap for that beautiful performance because honestly, as a choir kid, I can say that was pretty good. So, all right, moving on. Are you all finished? No. No. All right. Well, then I will hand the mic back.
Was the motion?
the motion fails.
Okay.
Yes. It's over, the distraction's over.
Yep, I take my motion back. Anyways, so where was I? I was in Armstrong Hall. Yes. So we talked about Armstrong Hall, we talked about future state, and there has been a lot of work and progress on that as well. And finally is my Senator of the Month, but I'm going to wait after Speaker Andrew's officer report to announce my Senator of the Month.
All right. Let me pull up mine real quick. All right. So I only have 2 things for you guys, and we're gonna yes.
Vice President.
Of course. What is your question?
So you said you're going to be meeting with VP Morris. Is there going to be any updates regarding the status of the Moonshot Initiative?
I can definitely ask him about that update. We did ask on yes. Oh, thank you for reminding. I did forget to mention that. We did have a little discussion about that on Meet and Confer as well. Moonshot will be going into its second phase. I can ask for a detailed update in the meeting, and I'll let you know either in my officer report or personally about that. Any more questions? Yes.
I know in past meetings when President Inch has been present, there's been a dress code required. Are we implementing those same rules?
I would honestly suggest to kind of wear semi-formal to formal, because we just want to respect the people who come in here and talk about different things. So just something semi-formal or formal.
All righty. Moving on. Do you want me to hit?
Sorry, you guys. I will be announcing my Senator of the Month now. So,
Wait.
okay. So for Senator of the Month in April, me and President Gordon discussed a lot on who we should be giving. When we first started discussing, we were talking to each other and we realized we've not given this Senator of the Month. When this senator initially came to student government, I saw how nervous the senator was. And over the time, the growth and the development that the senator has had is insane. I had to personally go in there and hug the senator because of how nervous the senator was. But now the senator comes forward, puts out motion, is always there to help others, is always coming and talking to us, and is just really positive person. And that drum rolls, everybody. I can't hear you. The round one for March is Senator Lou.
Yes.
Gift card from student activity. I want attitude and gratitude.
Let's
go,
Andrew.
I don't know.
There we go. We will get your certificate to you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
I'm gonna put this on my face or my face.
I want to yield to John.
Speakers on, I just thought I'd let you know, the event going on next door is an event hosted by the President's Office. It's a gathering of Emeriti faculty and staff, and their foundation is doing it. So it's live entertainment that's happening, so I would encourage you to plow forward as best as you can. So the event is scheduled to go till 5:30 next door.
Look, they have beautiful choir performers, and I think that's amazing. All right, moving on into my speaker reports. So first off, for me, make sure you're getting your senator report. I put it down. Is this mic working now? Okay, perfect. I meant to put down senator reports and I put in speaker reports. I'm hoping to get your guys' senator reports in as soon as possible. I really want to be able to see that. With that being said, I'm hoping to get them submitted to me beforehand the meeting if possible. So you can have a brief description so that if you're not here, I can still read them for you guys. If not, I completely understand. Just make sure to reach out to me beforehand. With that being said, for our speaker reports this week, we do have Senator Abbott, Senator Woodward, Senator Vaughn, and Senator Beckerman. You can totally go next week if you are not prepared for this week. I know I did announce it at the previous meeting, but it was at the end of the budget meeting, so I completely understand if you guys need a little bit more time. But just to keep in mind, I will start rolling through those for the next few weeks. I'm hoping to get every single senator done by the last meeting. With that being said, the other thing I want you guys to start thinking about, especially as you're writing these reports, is I'm going to take a page out of John Bulcock's book and say, what is your legacy? What are you guys thinking about your final projects are going to be? What do you guys want to see improved on this campus in these last few weeks? Use your time wisely. You know, we're at the end of the semester, but now is the best time to really think about where you want your projects to go, who you are hoping you can see continue this project if you're graduating, all of those really important stuff. I know that there's still projects going that I started my freshman year, and I got to see projects that I got to lay the foundation for that ended my junior year that I was so happy about. And I want you guys to know that, you know, when you're writing these and you're keeping track of what you've done and who you've contacted, it's not just for you, it's for whoever's going to uptake this next. So please remember that as we're making these reports. That is the end of my report. With that, we will move on into senator reports. Oh, do we have any questions for me? Yes.
For sending our senator report, do you just want it to your email?
Yes, an email would be great. You should receive an email from me. So if you don't, that's concerning. Please let me know. But you should get my email at least once a week. You can attach it to that as well if you'd like. Again, like I said, any other questions? All right, moving on. We will move into senator reports. Once again, if you guys would like to waive until next week, you are completely welcome to. I know it was the end of the budget meeting. Senator Abbott.
All right, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have anything prepared for this. It was at the end of the budget meeting. But overall, the primary stuff I've been working on has been connecting with my dean. There was some communication inconsistency last year, he reported. So I've been attending the Student Health Advisory Board meetings each month. So just connecting with them, seeing what they need or what kind of things they're reporting from their like organizations or where they come from as to what could be improved. Additionally, just doing coffee and conversations with Coordinator Hiluka for the Academic Affairs Committee. And that's kind of it for the big stuff.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? All right, seeing none. Senator Woodward? Is Senator Woodward not here?
You said,
they on Zoom?
I'm on Zoom. You said we could volunteer to go next week.
You can go next week, yes.
Okay, I'd like to do that, and then I can actually write it and give it to you firsthand.
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Let me write that down. No worries. Senator Vaughn?
Yeah, hello everyone. Since January, I've been learning the in and outs of student government, connecting with senators and administration to better my understanding of how the system functions. My first project, I started out with a former senator project to add ASL to the goal area with the rest of the foreign languages. Unfortunately, the project group disbanded and the project is no longer in action. Currently, with the Basic Needs Committee, we are working on the food fridge located in the Student Government Office. Prior to the current plan, our first push for this was for it to be outside the Student Government Office to allow students to acquire already prepped meals along with a selection of grains. The idea was for students to feel less self-conscious when helping themselves to meals. However, the location was rejected. Fortunately, we opened up the front area of the Student Government Office to then further our project.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? All right, seeing none. Senator Beckerman?
Yeah, I can go. I just don't have my paper kind of thing. So can I just send that to you at a later date?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Hey guys. Right now, kind of the big kind of committal things I've been working on are being RHA liaison. So going to their meetings, telling them what's been happening with student government. Last week, or technically this week, was especially fun because I got to talk about the budget. So I got to tell them do a 6-hour summary. That was really fun. Then also kind of just get updates to what RHA is doing. Also just being on planning submeet committee. So kind of getting, I know we had a meeting on Tuesday. And so we got numbers on what future enrollment will look like. So just kind of keeping update on that front. For senator projects, I've been working in the background on a project that came to me a while ago about having a website or a part of the website on either D2L or just the MNSU website that would have contact information for local representatives, especially with the university's push to get people to reach out to representatives for Armstrong refurbishments. I would think this is an important issue and one that I hope I can get done by the end of the year, but just knowing university bureaucracy, we will see. And that's about all I will have to say.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? All right, seeing none, with that, I will announce the next list. And then if it's helpful, would you guys like me to send an email to you as well? Okay, let me put that on my notes. I will make sure that everyone gets an email the next day, just so we're all on the same page. With that being said, the next list that I have is Senator Cumming, Senator Kabade, Senator Belschner, and Senator Androli. You will also get an email tomorrow with that information, as well as Senator Woodward. I have not forgotten you. Please send me that report when you can, and then we can give it to Senate. All right, with that, seeing that vacancies are all closed, we move on into new business. And we have the sustainability fee cap resolution has been moved up before tech fee, so we will start there. Does the first like to speak on this? Would the first like to speak on this?
Yes, I will.
Perfect. Could you please go to the mic if possible? Thank you.
Already there.
Awesome.
I'm gonna grab some materials real quick.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noah Wickersham, as it says on the resolution. I am the interim sustainability coordinator for the student government. And what this resolution does is lays out our hopes to advocate to the Minnesota State System Board of Trustees to raise the cap imposed by the Board of Trustees on sustainability fees used and introduced by various Minnesota State colleges of $20 per student per term. Now, what we are seeking to raise the cap to is $40 per term per student. In addition, we are hoping for the Senate supports in passing what is called a contingent fee recommendation. And I will get to that here in a second after I explain why the cap fee increase is necessary. As it says in the whereas clauses, the sustainability fee fund is projected to be significantly in the red going into fiscal year 27 and fiscal year 28 if nothing has changed. As the report from Sustainability Fee Advisory Committee recorder and advisor David Cowan put it in his email on February 23rd, 2026. The sustainability budget will be short about $60,000 going into fiscal year 27. And what I may have failed to accurately state in the resolution is that the $40,000 that we will be short going into fiscal year 28 is going to be an additional $40,000. We are not gaining a net $20,000. We will be a total of $100,000 in the hole by fiscal year 28 with no change. And as I pointed out in my last whereas clause, all of these projections come before the United States initiated hostilities with the country of Iran. And this conflict, disregarding all political opinions and political feelings of anybody in this room, has already had an outsized impact on diesel prices and the broader economy and inflation, meaning that these massive budget shortfalls are outdated and likely incredibly underestimated. It is not impossible to imagine that those shortfalls are short by at least tens of thousands of dollars when it is all said and done. Now, how can the cap increase help us? Well, as you can see from the first further whereas clause, our current fees are set at $153 per credit hour, banded at $19.92 per semester. So 1 cent multiplied by 13 credits is, let me just do real quick mental math here. It's about $20.05, which some more quick mental math is greater than $20, meaning we are not allowed to increase revenues any further than we already have. We can make cuts, and the biggest during budget and contract negotiations with the Minnesota Transit System. However, the primary way that those cuts would take effect is through route cuts, meaning that students would be less served by the the Mankato Transit System's bus routes for the exact same amount of money they're paying now. So the first way to fix this, like I said, is to raise the cap. We need room to increase revenues that we currently don't have. Now, why $40 in particular? Well, it was brought to our attention at the Sustainability Fee Advisory Committee meeting this last Monday by Student Body President Andrew Fuller that the Board of Trustees generally likes to have fee cap increases change about every 5 to 10 years. They do not like to change them more frequently than that. It is our opinion as a committee that a smaller increase to the cap than $40, especially a significantly smaller increase to the cap, would not last us to that next 5-year at the minimum increment. Now, what is this business about a contingent fee recommendation? It was also brought to our attention by Student Body President Andrew Colleran that the administration of Minnesota State University Mankato allows for the student government to recommend a fee increase if the cap is changed. And that is what the $169 per credit hour, $21.97 banded per student per term proposal is. It would not take effect unless and only unless that cap change is approved, or any cap change higher than $21.97. So that is where we're at right now. As it stands, we are still recommending a 0% increase. However, if our lobbying efforts to raise the cap are successful, we would then transition into a recommendation of a 16-cent increase per credit hour and a $2.05 increase per student per term. I am open to any questions, especially since my second is not here.
Do we have any questions? All right, seeing none, we move on into discussion. Do we have any discussion points that we would like to share about this resolution? John.
Just a point of information to share historical context with you. That contingency move, that was last done when the student activity fee cap was raised by the system office. There was a recommendation made by this body to set the fee at a certain level, contingent upon the Board of Trustees allowing that fee cap to be raised. And so that was the last time that move was used by this body. So that can be done. There is what's the word I'm looking for? Precedent for that. Yes, that's the word. Thank you.
Senator Hillica.
Thank you, Speaker Andrea. I am in full support of this resolution. I would like us to be able to keep our current bus contract terms as they are. And if this resolution will accomplish that, yes, let's definitely pass this. Additionally, there's one other point that I'd like to raise, just so people are aware in here. There's actually an open seat for a college student on the Board of Trustees right now, and that is specifically for community college students. So if anybody knows a community college student that might be interested, tell them to apply, because there's actually only like 8 applications right now.
Thank you. Senator Stokes.
Thank you, Speaker. I completely agree with the former speaking senator just stated. Yeah, and I move to call the question.
All right, I see we have a motion to call the question. Do we have any seconds? I see seconds. Do we have any dissents?
Point of information, do we need a motion to expedite?
Yes, we do.
We do. My bad.
I thought you said motion to expedite. I apologize.
Oh, that's my bad.
Did you say motion? Is that a motion to expedite?
Technically Dietrich had.
Yeah, motion to expedite.
Motion to expedite. Do we have a second? We have seconds. Do we have any dissents? All right, seeing none. Hold on. Oh, would you like to? You have a motion to call the question. Do we have a motion to call the question? Seconds. Do we have any dissents? Seeing none, we move this into call to question. We will do this by placard vote. So all in favor of this resolution, please raise your placards. Zoom, Everyone keep it up for just a moment. If you are in Zoom, please use the hand raise motion to make your vote clear. I will have you all up on the side here. It will look like a hand raise, like a ask question thing. If you are in favor, please use that. All right. Okay, thank you. All those against, please raise your placards. And those who abstain, please raise your placards. All right, seeing none, this passes with a unanimous vote. Give me just a moment, I need to write that down. Okay, moving on down the agenda. We are moving into tech fee. So just a reminder for everyone on the floor, our current rate is $12 per credit hour. Our recommended rate for tech fee is $13 per credit hour, an increase of $1 or a $318,277 revenue increase or an 8.3% increase. With that being said, and we have no one who is going to speak on this, we will move into discussion. Do we have any points of discussion? Senator Reyes.
Thank you, Speaker. First, I'd like to commend Brian and his team for the work on the tech fee, and having been on the tech fee committee for the past couple of months, they've been hard at work trying to figure this stuff out. But as a student representative, an 8.3% increase is a large ask, as it is a full dollar per credit. And I just can't in good faith recommend that, seeing as off-campus students are already struggling with rent, gas, groceries. So I will not be motioning anything, but I would like to keep in mind that an 8.3 increase is high. While I do think we should give tech a cushion so that they can continue with their network switch replacement, other areas that need work are the esports program, which another resolutions that have been given to me, they are planning on reverting that funding from esports and also increasing their own funding through computer store and other such sources. I can in good faith recommend an 8.3 increase.
Thank you. And as a point of information to everyone, if you do have a motion that you would like to make, it does have to be written and handed to me. With that being said, Senator Hillica.
Thank you, Speaker Andre. I am also against an 8.3% increase after looking over their presentation and some of the expenditures that they had listed, as well as their revenue sources. I do believe that they still have a lot of opportunity to cut from their budget and that they do have those opportunities to bring in further revenue. So for that, I would like to say I am against an 8.3% increase.
Thank you. Vice President Coughlin.
I think I'm on the same page as most of you. One of the reasons why we did not give athletics is because of the budgeting. And while I do believe tech does need a little increase, yes, tech, we cannot like absolutely, according to me, we cannot absolutely reduce it to 0%. However, 8.3% is a huge sum of money. And right now, our main priority has been and will be reducing students' costs, even if that is just $1. I think it's going to be a lot by at the end of the day. So we can discuss about how much or what we want to do as a group, but I honestly don't think we can afford giving 8.3% increase right now.
Thank you. Senator Dietrich.
So I would like to bring up. Okay. Do not want to. Hold on, I'll take it back. Thank you. So I would like to bring up one of the questions that I had to ask multiple times but still did not get an answer to at their presentation. So what happened last year was they had requested a specific amount of funding with the intention of replacing the servers because that's a pretty big project to take on in 1 year. And so they budgeted for that in their ask. And then due to the change in credit banding and I think online students started paying tech fee as well, they got even more money than what they had actually asked for. And so they're coming to us this year for more money and saying, it's to replace the servers, but it's like, but that was what the money they asked for last year was for. And both times I asked that question, they were very careful not to answer it. So I will not be supporting the increase that they are asking for, and in fact, I think that due to the lack of transparency there that I saw and some of the other things that I find troubling, that we should potentially consider going with a 0% increase.
All right, do we get a motion? Motion?
Motion to amend the 8.3 to a 2% increase.
All right.
Second.
I have that motion in front of me. It is seconded by Senator Hillica. With that, this motion is now on the floor. Would the first and second like to speak?
Yes. The main reason I motioned for a 2% increase instead of a net zero at first is so we can negotiate. I do realize some people at this table are hoping for a 0% increase. I'm just motioning for this so we can have more communication and come to a common agreement.
Thank you, Speaker Andrew. I would also like to state that another reason why I seconded this motion is so that we could initially move the amount to a lower than 8.3, because I was very certain almost everybody in this room was against an 8.3%. So just to open up discussion and so we keep ourselves with a safer number than that 8.32% is what I would be in favor of as of this moment.
Thank you. And I would like to remind everyone that we are operating by budget rules right now. So that means you have 2 talking points per person. I am keeping track on one of our wonderful little sheets. The first and second who speak do not count at those points. Just a reminder for discussion. And now moving into that, we move into discussion for this motion of 2% increase. Senator Zelmer.
I think we've heard a lot of the voices around the table, but I'd like to give it out to our folks joining us in the gallery from the tech fee. I yield to the gallery.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I've responded, we pulled together all the answers into the document that's on the team site, and it ended up being 11 pages of answers for all the questions that you've asked. In those answers, I do want to pick out a couple of things that I don't think that everybody maybe read through all 11 pages of that. But one thing that's pretty important is what happened to the tech fee this year. So you would think that with having flat enrollment from last year to this year, that the tech fee would be pretty stable. A couple things happened this year. Online students are participating in the tech fee, so you would think that the tech fee would go up a little bit. But the other thing that happened was with the band going from 12 to 13 and the tech fee going from 13 to 12, what actually happened as of even this morning, the tech fee revenue, the gross revenue is down. It's about $73,000 down from where it was a year ago. Now we do have a few weeks left of the semester, and some students are still paying late tuition and fees. So I expect that to go up a little bit to take some of the pressure off of that $76,000 shortfall this year, but it probably won't make up all of it, right? So with the tech fee going from $13 to $12 a credit, that was really a good thing for students, right? And it was a smart thing to do. But what ended up happening is, I think it was kind of a misjudgment on just what students pay what fees. So if a student would take 1 credit, they would save $1. A student that takes 12 credits would save $12 in tech fees. What ended up happening is, I think that we have a lot more students that were taking 12 credits than we anticipated. So the tech fee revenue actually went down, even with the increase in more students paying the tech fees because of the online participation this year. So we are seeing a decrease in revenue in tech fees, which puts us in a bad spot with trying to replace the infrastructure. And I did, in that questionnaire, in those answers, I did point out, and in the presentation, that we had 3 years of infrastructure that needed to be replaced. The servers, storage was last year. This year was supposed to be networks, and next year was supposed to be wireless. But we don't have enough participation on the tech fee side to help pay for that infrastructure replacement, which is why we were requesting for the tech fee to be brought back up to $13 a credit. Now, I did put in links to my presentation last year, where the recommendation that we had from IT was to keep the tech fee at $13 a credit. And I also had a link from this meeting a year ago where students, it was 24-0 to 1, supported keeping the tech fee at $13 a credit. But with the banding and when it went down, that affected our revenue. So we are asking for student support to bring it back up to $13 a credit so that we can support that infrastructure upgrade. So I hope I'm explaining that correctly. It was a really good thing for students to save money on fees, especially the tech fee, but it did negatively impact the tech fee revenue. Kind of like if gasoline would go down $1 a credit or $1 a gallon right now, it would benefit all of us, right? But it would hurt the oil companies. They're used to making a lot more money right now. So the tech fee going down $1 benefited all the students, but it does hurt our ability to replace the infrastructure that we need. So I hope that explains it, and I stand for any questions. The other piece of it is we did answer a lot of questions about esports, and we have Mitch Wallerstead here, who's the director of esports, and he can answer any follow-up questions that you might have. So, yeah.
Sorry, and I just wanted to add a couple points as well. Some of the things that are happening out in the world and the market, and so some of those things were talked about here with like oil and other things, but definitely we're seeing increased costs due to memory shortages and things like that. So the generative AI things that are happening in the world are taking up some of those resources that we would normally see in like desktop computers and things like that. So our prices have gone up 4 times in the last 2 months just in that area, and we predict them to go up higher. Also, as our president and vice president and others here are aware, we're facing budget reductions across campus and other things. So our general fund dollars are also going to be decreasing. So we can't make up any shortages in another way. So it will be impactful in the services that we provide to the students at the university. So I just want to make those 2 points.
Thank you. And then I will say, if you guys do have any questions that you need to direct at them, you are more than willing to, but we are in discussion phase at this time about this particular amendment.
Point of information / clarification. John, would the tech fee see any of the, so I know you had spoken on how athletics would be getting a 3-point-something% increase, kind of no matter what we did, would tech fee see any of that money or an increase?
Without looking at the numbers that they're talking about specifically, I can't answer that question right now. Okay, that math is different than what I've been able to calculate for other things.
Thank you. President Colleran?
So first things first, to give my input on Senator Zelmer's question. When it comes to the tech fee and the resources they're given, they have already received that money this fiscal year and the previous fiscal year as well, because they transitioned over to online-only students that started as a tech fee, then next year went to student activity and athletics. So they have already been receiving it, it's already been inside their budget. Though I do know that the forecast for getting the tech fee dollars for online-only students was they received more revenue than they forecast for that aspect as well. So transition to that response into my thoughts on it. When I'm looking into, my person looking into a fee as complex as the tech fee of my role, I'm considering a lot of things. The biggest thing that I consider with this aspect, along with other aspects for the rest of the fees, is the cost to the students. I want to make it very, very clear to y'all that when we go from the transition from banning from 12 to 18 credits to 13 plus between last year and this year, a banded student pays the same amount. A banded student who's taken 13 plus credits to 12 to 18 credits still pays $156 every semester. That change has not happened across last semester, last academic year, and this academic year. The goal of that change for the credit per per credit hour was to spread the amount across 13 credits instead of 12 credits. So I'm gonna make it very clear to everyone here that the transition for the cost per credit does not change how much you're paying here as a full-time student. So when we are talking about the change for a increase for the fee right now, we are talking about a $1 increase per credit between what you were paying as a full-time student between last year, between this year and next year. We're not transitioning into the same amount that a full-time student paid last year. So I want to make that very, very clear. The second thing when it comes to this fee is that there are other revenue sources. A lot of the fees that we're looking at, say student activity fee, health services fee, CSU, their primary source of revenue is the fee. But when it comes to tech fee, like we make the fee provides a fraction of the revenue for IT. So it's something where they're not as heavily reliant on an increase or decrease or maintaining their rate as other fees are. I can't say the same for the pockets of students, especially when it comes to this fee. This is the biggest fee cost the students are receiving. They're, say for example, with the sustainability fee, students are paying like a couple dollars per credit for this. Whereas for tech fee, students will be paying a $12 per credit if it stays at 0%. That is the biggest amount the students are paying per credit for any of the fees that we have across the university. So when we are in these conversations, it's also good to know that any increase we do percentage-wise will have the biggest monetary increase compared to any other fee. And when looking at so I take all that information into consideration when looking into this fee. I do recognize that there is some need to increase the revenue that they do have because they are employing people and because that there is compensation and fringe benefits that increase, along with the increase for costs for the AI industry. But I am seeing that when taking all these factors into consideration, 8.3% increase is not reasonable. So that's my personal take on it.
Thank you very much. I believe it was just a reminder to keep your placards up if you are willing to speak, and then put them down if you've decided to no longer speak. Apologies, I had a list set up. Senator Abart.
Hi, so I have a question directed to Mitch in the gallery. Thank you so much for coming. So with the esports, I understand that you guys did some upgrades last year that caused your price to go up, expense-wise. So I was just curious if there was not a huge increase, how would that necessarily impact you guys? Are you planning on doing more that needs more funding still, or?
The majority of our expenses related to like facility upgrades have taken place. So we've gone through. We basically had three phases of build out for the esports facility from a physical facility perspective. That has been completed. Ongoing costs, at least in the short term, will be related to regular computer replacement cycles. So just like the regular labs across campus, we'll still have some costs associated with that. Our largest drivers of expenses on esports will continue to be the salary costs for our one full-time employee that works in the space, as well as our student employee workforce.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Senator Wickersham.
I just wanted to motion my support for, or express my support, I suppose, for a 2% increase. I think that is incredibly fair, given the figures that were brought up last week of 1.5% inflation year over year. Plus, it would add a 0.5% increase just for additional projects that may need happening or additional whatever. I think it's very fair, and I think it is a good starting spot at least.
Thank you. Senator Stokes.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Speaker. After some quick calculations, an approximate, with this 2%, it would still increase the budget by around $100,000. And also, I just want to keep us all in mind that the cap is $14 per credit hour. And we would be getting pretty close to that, and we need to keep that in mind for the future. If there is any urgent emergencies for the budget to be upped. But I see no current status in this current form, even with the network and all the new loans taken out to improve the network connection and servers. I don't see a necessary increase of that exorbitant amount. Additionally, it was mentioned in the question and answers that one of the main results of if they do not get the desired increase would be disconnecting from some subscriptions and services allocated to the students. I was wondering if I could yield to the gallery and ask if there's any specifications about those services that would be discontinued for the students.
Do we have any answers to that question? Yes? Oh, okay, thank you.
I yield.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's fair. It's pretty much a generalization at this point because we probably haven't identified specifically, but there would be subscriptions to maybe some of the software titles like in sports, or there might be subscriptions to some of the student-facing things that we provide, like LinkedIn Learning or other things like that. But we haven't specifically. We're trying to avoid as many of those as we can and see how we could absorb a reduction. But I think it's also fair to say that we, with the vote last year and everything, we budgeted at that rate, and I don't think it's quite been realized. So we're still figuring all those things out. So these are just generalized ideas of what might happen.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, Senator Hyper.
I would like to call the question.
Second.
Do we have any seconds? Do we have any dissents? All right, seeing none, we will be calling this to question. With that being said, we are going to be doing this by a placard vote. Just give me a moment so I can set up the Zoom. For a reminder for those on Zoom, please use the raise your hand function for what you would like to vote in, and then keep that up until I say so. Please raise your placard if you are in favor of moving the amended amount from 8.3% to 2% tech fee increase.
Question.
Oh.
To hold that vote.
Yes.
Was there dissent?
There was no dissent.
Oh, okay.
There was a dissent?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I did that wrong. Okay, please raise your placard if you are in agreement with, okay, thank you, with the 2%.
Chase, are you up or no?
Nope.
Plus 2 on Zoom.
22.
Please raise your placard if you are in dissent. Those on Zoom can place your the hands down unless you are voting in dissent. Okay, and please put your placard down and your Zoom down unless you're voting in absence. Oh my goodness. Yep.
Absence.
And abstain. Goodness gracious. Sorry, I'm trying to get the Zoom figured out at the same time. All right, seeing that, this passes almost unanimously. So now our current budget rate that we're looking at is a 2% increase for the tech fee, which is a 1224 increase banded at 159.12. Moving on into discussion for this. Do we have any points of discussion? Senator Hybert.
Yeah, I'd like to motion to change the fund from 2% to 0%.
Second.
Do we see any dissents on this motion? I'm going to, okay. All right. right, since we are going to move into discussion for this, would the person who motioned this and seconded it like to speak?
Yes. So I think through our questioning and through a lot of our understanding, we've seen that the tech fee has a lot of room to move around. I think one of the big things I want to highlight is how much we hear from our constituents that professors aren't using all this really nice new equipment. So it doesn't matter how cool the equipment is if it only really matters when we're doing tours and stuff. You know, like it's cool for high schoolers to walk in and be like, hey, look at all this cool technology, but it's not really being used by the professors. I think with a lowered fee, we're setting the precedent that the tech fee needs to prioritize teaching the professors how to use this equipment rather than looking at upgrades. The other thing I think that just needs to be talked about is I think it's ridiculous that the esports team is the only sports team on our campus that doesn't fundraise for themselves. That needs to change around here quick. And I think that's another thing we can set by moving it down to 0%. Let them move stuff around and hopefully fundraise for themselves.
Thank you. Do you have any comments from the second?
Yeah, I mean, after looking over their presentation that they gave to us and their responses to the questions just recently, I still do not feel that an increase by any amount would be justified given the current situation that students are facing down. Again, I said this regarding the athletics fee, but with the proposed tuition increase, students will be looking at paying an entire month's worth of rent. Any amount of money that we can offset by any decision now is a win for the students. And so I ask you all to support a 0% increase alongside me.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other comments we'd like to add? Vice President Coughlin?
While I do agree with a lot of you, I think tech fee is one of those fees that impacts entire student body. So I also do want to hear what VP Mitch and Brian has to say. So I will yield to gallery. And if we come into decision of 0%, how are students going to be impacted by that? We want to know in detail so we can make that decision, please.
Would you like to comment?
Yeah, well, I can do definitely my best to kind of cover that, right? And I think the biggest thing that we will see is that our network infrastructure replacement will definitely be delayed, and with some of that already end of life. And it's not like tech fee is the only funding source for that. We do fund that with Gen Fund dollars and other sources. But again, as Gen Fund is affected as well with future budget direction, we'll see impact in reducing that. And I can't give you like very detailed things here because we have to figure out what would be the effect of this, but ultimately, like one of it could be reduced Wi-Fi access points across campus as an example, when we get to that replacement cycle or other things. I think also just the general services and support we provide, our student employee count would have to go down at our service center and other places. So we would see that as a reduction as well. And I'll let Brian add in anything he has.
Yeah, and I would want to stress again that what we're looking at for gross revenue this year compared to last year is down $76,000. And like I said, we only have a couple of weeks left for students that are delinquent or late on paying their fees. They're going to be paid in, so that's not going to go up. So you would think that it would be about even, but it is going down this year compared to last year. And I think I failed to mention too that summer session is coming up, and although summer session happens in this fiscal year, the funds are actually applied to fiscal year 27. So we are looking at where we're at right now with the decrease in tech fee by $1. That did impact tech fee revenue by quite a bit. It's probably going to be about $70,000 less this year than last year. So the risk that we have with having outdated equipment and non-supported equipment increases all the time. So we are looking at ways that we can cut all kinds of expenses across the board because we have to make a general fund cut as well as everybody else. But we're also looking at ways that we can eliminate duplicate service, software that we probably don't need to sustain anymore. We are looking at ways in all of our budgets to reduce those budgets. So it's not like we're not going through those exercises. We're going through them really aggressively.
Two more. Yep. I want to add two more things, and one is the response to the classroom question, or the point about the technology in the classrooms and unused, and that is something that we did take as feedback and very cognizant of, and coming from a different institution 8 months ago, was also very cognizant of that. So we're doing some analysis right now of the data and usage of our classrooms and considering that, and that's, you know, we wouldn't see a big reduction there right now because that equipment's already there and exists, but in future replacement cycles, we would be looking deeply at what do we replace and what don't we, and being efficient with those dollars and being good stewards. And I think that's probably the biggest one. Also around some of the other things, yeah, we're kind of seeing, as Brian mentioned, right? So if I look at our budget overall, gen fund dollars, about 95% of that, as you'll find from many places on campus, are staff lines, right? 5% of that goes, $400,000 goes to pay for software and other things and other services to support the campus. So if we have to take money from there to offset other things here, it's going to be impactful in the bigger picture of the campus. So just hoping that we could have as much support as we can in this. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Zelmer. And just a quick reminder for everyone for talking points. They have reset as we have moved on to a new motion. Please keep that in mind. Go ahead.
I think I understand what everyone's kind of speaking about with that 0%, wanting more out of the tech fee for clarity, and then more kind of approaches for funding outside of just our fees. But I also do think that a 0% is a little harsh, and seeing that, you know, not even just the tech that we have in our classrooms, but the availability and streamlining how fast we get tech support is an amazing thing that we have at this university that not a lot of universities around the country have, that ability to get support by walking downstairs. So I do understand that an 8 point whatever they wanted was really high. I do feel that a 0 is a little low, especially if we want to keep these resources available to us and the university students. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other talking points? Oh,
One, but I think it doesn't work.
sorry, I was just checking my list here.
I have a general question.
Senator Knauer. Sorry, I missed you there.
Looking at, oh, that's kind of loud. Looking at the tech fee, I was really curious about the breakdown of how esports spends their money, because it is like a large sum. It's around $250,000. Can anybody in the gallery like provide me more information on how that money is spent? Thank you.
Yeah, happy to talk a little bit more detail about that. As I mentioned before, the vast majority of expenses in the esports realm go to pay compensation costs. So whether that's salary or student employees, we have about 10 to 12 student employees depending on the time of the year. And the type of work that they do is everything from lab facility management, so doing the tech support and providing access to the open play lab during our business hours, as well as providing students with opportunities. A lot of the students that we have that work in the management of the esports team come from the sports management program, so providing them with that opportunity to manage a team, manage team rosters, schedule sprints, and some of those types of activities, as well as students that work doing the broadcast production. So we have some students that do some of the on-screen commentary, as well as work kind of behind the cameras doing that broadcast production piece. So that's the vast majority of our expenses. We've seen some increases in costs related to travel. So when esports started and launched, we launched in the 2020, 2021 year. So we didn't have any travel because of pandemic considerations. Now that we are moving further away from that time, we are doing more travel for events across the country, including championship events. So we've got 2 coming up this year that we likely will have teams attending to play in championship events. So that's some cost as well. A lot of the costs associated with that, we also work with student organizations, RSOs that are related to esports, and we'll partner with them so they get club members get funding through the RSO process to travel along with some of our teams as well. So that's been a big great partnership is providing those student RSO opportunities as well. And then there are some ongoing costs related to like computer recycling and peripheral equipment, right? When keyboards and mics get used a lot, headsets get used, they break. We have some of those types of costs as well, but the vast majority of it is in that compensation piece.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other discussion posts? Senator Aubert?
I was just curious, with esports being one of the few teams that does not do fundraising, I was aware there was one Chipotle fundraiser a while ago. Did you make any profit off of that? Because we were told that no fundraising had happened.
Yeah, so I'll speak to fundraising. We have done fundraising in the past. What we have found is the return on investment from costs to do fundraising does not that we don't make enough on the fundraising to compensate for the cost to do the fundraising, right? So whether that's extra staff time, extra resources for marketing, et cetera. Most of the fundraising that's done in the esports and gaming is related now, like this year, the Chipotle example in particular, is done by the student organizations themselves that are related to esports. So there's an esports and gaming RSO that worked with Chipotle to do fundraising related to the Cato Clash event that we had this spring. So I can't tell you specifically what the fundraising was for that, because that all went back to the club. So that's a lot of the individual student fundraising is done now within those clubs. But we have done things like streamathons in the past where we tried to get Twitch subscriptions or donations through that. Over the last few years, we've raised about $8,000 through those types of efforts. But again, they're offset by the costs that associated with going through those efforts.
And have you reevaluated like how to go forward and better improve that fundraising model?
Yeah, that's absolutely something that we are looking at. We've been in conversations with athletics to see how we can either use them as a model or partner with them in some of those fundraising efforts, and it's something that we will continue to look at. So it's not something that we've given up on, and will continue to be something that we look at from a revenue perspective. One of the other things that we are looking at now as well is, how can we raise revenue through events? So like that Cato Clash event that we had on campus, that was done at cost to cover the costs that we had associated with it. But as we move forward, we'll be looking at, okay, how can we bring in more revenue through that type of activity? The same with our summer camp operations. So we'll be raising the fee for our summer camp events as a way to offset some of those travel costs that I talked about, and use that as a resource for that. So it's absolutely something we are looking at. But from a percentage of our operations perspective, it's not something that we can currently rely on as something to cover the costs that we're seeing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Coughlin?
After I think hearing a lot of different points, I do agree that 8% is a lot, and that is nowhere in the picture. But like Senator Zolmer mentioned, I do believe 0% is going to have little impact on students, or like may negatively impact students on how they get the facilities, because sorry, tech is one of the sector that actually provides a lot to a lot of different students. So I do think a little around 2% should be okay. That is my personal opinion. However, I do see that there's a lot of different places where they can increase their fundraising, like we talked about, see how the budgets are being managed. So I think that is definitely an aspect that tech department should be looking at. However, 0% can result a little negatively on students as well. I want to make sure we keep in mind of that too.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments we'd like to make? Points of discussion? Seeing none, then that means we will move into a vote for moving the 2% tech fee into the 0% tech fee. With that being said, I will do this as a placard vote. And please raise, and for Zoom as well, you will use the hand function as we've used previously. Please raise your placard or put your the hand up option in Zoom if you are for raising it to a 0% or going down to 0%. Please raise it like all the way up to the arms, you guys, so I can see it. Thank you. All right, Zoom, please put those down. And if you are in dissent, please raise your placards or the little hand icon in Zoom. Raise them up high, you guys. I'm sorry, I can't see that well. All right, seeing that, this fails with a 10 to 12 vote. So this fails. We are still at 2% as of right now, including Zoom. Oh, John, yes?
Procedurally, you're back to a main motion of 2% increase, and if there's no further discussion, you would move into a vote on that main motion, correct?
Yes. Do we have any other comments on the main motion? Senator Hillstead.
Pretty sure Senator Dietrich was
Oh,
ahead.
Senator Dietrich, I apologize.
So I just want to reiterate what I kind of talked about before. At the last, at their presentation, I brought up the issue of the previous year. They asked for a certain amount of money to replace the servers. They not only got the money that they requested to replace the servers, they got more money than what they requested to replace the servers. They are now telling us there was not enough money to replace the servers, and now they need more to replace the servers. What happened to that money that we gave them to replace the servers? Did the servers go up in cost within, a couple of months of us approving that budget? Or like, there has been no explanation of any kind, and they have been sidestepping answering this question this entire time in that presentation before and today. And for that reason, I am not comfortable giving them more money. I would support a 0%, not a 2%.
Thank you. And it looks like we have a motion. Motion?
So I motioned for a 1% increase. I agree that it is very disheartening to see that.
We list your second real quick.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
I agree it's very disheartening to see the lack of transparency that we have gotten from tech about the network replacements. However, I do think it would also be not the wisest to do a 0% increase, considering the other impacts that the tech fee does have on the general student body. Overall, I don't think that they need the original ask. However, doing a 0% wouldn't be the move either.
Thank you. Would the second like to speak on this motion? Yield to redundancy. Moving on into discussion about this motion. Do we have any points of discussion? Vice President Coughlin?
I want to yield to gallery regard and I want to hear answer to Senator Dietrich's question because that point made me rethink what I was advocating for. So I really want to hear the explanation why the thing that was promised to us did not happen.
Thank you for your time. So the servers were purchased. It was servers and storage. That was last year. And we needed some revenue to pay that off. Servers last about 5 years, so we're going to be paying that off. It was a loan from the university. Some of it was done out of our reserves. Some of it was out of our general fund. Portion of it was taken out of institutional equipment. So the servers and the storage were bought last year and put into place, right? This year, we have to replace $1.2 million, $1.5 million worth of network gear And we're going to be paying off that loan over a period of 9 years. And then next year, we have a big portion of our Wi-Fi network that needs to be replaced. So it's kind of like buying servers last year, network this year, which was delayed, and then the year after that, Wi-Fi equipment. So the ask this year is to help with the student portion, the tech fee portion of paying that back. The rest of it is going to be paid back with our general fund amounts, but we have to pay that back over a period of time because we don't have the amount of money to pay for 3 big infrastructure increases all at once. So we don't have a massive reserve of many millions of dollars to do that. So that's why we're asking for student support so that we can do those incremental infrastructure replacements and pay that back over time.
And I would add, these are, I wouldn't call these upgrades, but they are a little bit, they're maintenance, right? So this is to keep us secure and safe. You know, these patches and things that we need from these vendors to keep our firewalls and network switches and all these things maintained all cost money as well. And so we pay what they call like SmartNet to Cisco to cover our security upgrades and different costs there. So there's a lot of moving pieces in this. I'm sorry if it's not super clear in how we described it previously, but these are 3 definitely different phases of upgrades, not necessarily servers. Servers are part of it. Network infrastructure is another part of it. Wi-Fi is the next phase of that. Hope that helps.
You can refer back to the presentation that I did. It shows the Excel spreadsheet and
all of the towards the bottom, the payments that we have to make over the next multiple years. That kind of explains how this will be paid off and which portion will be paying back that infrastructure cost. So I hope that clarifies it. I think we have answered the question, but if you have any other questions that you don't think that we answered, I'd like to clarify it for you.
Senator Dietrich.
So, so now you're saying that we're paying off loans for the servers for last year, but that was not what was explained to us last year. Last year, we were told, hey, we have to cover the cost of, you know, this is like once in a while kind of thing, but it's gonna be a, you know, one-time kind of big expenditure. Obviously, there will be future large expenditures, but this is not what we were told last year. This is not what we agreed to. I don't understand why it took this long for you guys to come up with like this answer, because you were very much, you know, dancing around the answer to my question during your presentation. And so I don't feel comfortable giving you guys this money when I feel like you're not being straight with me.
Yeah, if you refer back to the presentation from last year, it was almost the same spreadsheet. And I explained that we had multiple years of infrastructure replacement that needed to be done, and what the plan was for purchasing that and paying it off. The only difference between last year's presentation and this year's presentation was that we had to delay both the network and the Wi-Fi upgrades because we didn't have adequate funding for that.
Thank you. Senator Aubert?
I just want to reiterate that I am fully in support of the 1%. Again, lack of transparency really sucked, but what would suck more right now would be more student workers losing their jobs over a mistake or misunderstanding that they had no part in. We as representatives are here to care for the student body, and it would be really unfortunate to see student workers be losing their jobs over this.
Do we have any other points of discussion about changing the 2% to a 1%? All right, seeing none, that means that we move into a vote. We will be doing this the placard vote style once again. Once again on Zoom, please use that hand raise motion, and please raise that placards tall and high if you are in favor of moving the 2% to a 1%. Keep it way up, and that includes Zoom. 13. Yep, +1 on Zoom. And then if you are in dissent of raising the from 2% to 1%, please raise your placards very high, as high as you can. Seeing this passes 14-5. So that means that our new official motion is now 1% on the table. So that means that our official tech fee recommendation that is on the table right now is for 1%. Do we have any points of discussion? Senator Hillstead?
I'm gonna just do this since I know it's approaching 6 p.m. Motion to suspend final roll call.
Motion to suspend. Do we have any seconds? Do we have any dissents? I will say I do need this to figure out who is here and who wasn't, but that's all right. I will keep that in hand. All right, thank you so much. Do we have any other points of discussion for a 1% increase? Senator Hillicup?
Speaker Andrew, I am in favor of a 1% increase. I do believe that the amount could go lower, but I'm willing to compromise on my beliefs if other people are also in favor of 1%. But I would just like to say I'm open to another amendment to 0.
Do we have any other points of discussion? All right, seeing none, then
I was gonna motion to
you go
call the
for it.
question.
Motion to call the question. We have a motion to call the question. Do we have any seconds?
Second.
All right, seeing those, then that means that we will move forward and call this to question. For this vote, I will do a roll call vote for you. Just give me a moment to set up my papers. All right, just a brief explanation for a roll call vote. I will say out loud your name, and then you will vote yes or no on this action. Yes means that you approve of the 1% increase, and no means that you do not, and you want to continue with discussing or motions. For Zoom, I will call you guys last. All right, Senator Aubert.
Sorry, which one is for which?
Yes is for yes, you would like the 1% increase to be finalized.
Yes.
And no, okay, thank you. Senator Hyber.
Yes.
Senator Vaughn. Senator Dietrich.
Yes.
Senator Olson. Senator Nguyen.
No.
Senator Zelmer. Here. Senator Cumming.
No.
Senator Hillicup.
Yes.
Senator Anjoli.
Yes.
Senator Willie. Senator Belschner. Senator Stokes, not here. Senator Hillstead, not here. Senator Alvarez Reyes, not here. No, he's here. Never mind. Take that back. Senator Alvarez Reyes.
Yes.
Senator Conlon, not here. Senator Beckerman.
Yes.
Senator Liu.
Yes.
Senator Ray. Senator Wickersham. Not here. President Colleran.
Yes.
Vice President Coughlin. And then on to Zoom, Senator Woodward, if you would message me, please. That same goes for Senator Reyes and Senator Kadobi. Yep, I've got you. Sorry. Senator Knauer, I apologize. You're not on my main list.
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to write you into the next 5 sheets I have just to make sure you don't get forgotten. All right, let me count these briefly. The tech fee passes 15-3. Okay, moving on. Let me write Knauer in the bottom of both of these. I'll make sure I say abstain right. I was looking, I had a attendance sheet, so it was absent or abstain, and I combined them. Moving on into our next point of discussion, we have sustainability fee. Now, for the sustainability rate, I would like to remind everyone here, the current rate is 1.53 per credit hour. Recommended rate for sustainability fee is 1.52 per credit hour, an increase of 0.0 or 0.0 revenue increase, or a 0.00% increase. Now, do we have any points of discussion about this? Just a moment. We do have quorum, excellent. Do we have any other motions? All right, seeing none, then.
Point of clarification.
Yes.
1.53 per credit hour banded at 1989. Used
Yes.
1.52. So.
Oh, yep. Hold on. It is 1.53 for. I apologize. Motion.
So looking at the sustainability fee, I am all for looking at a 0% increase across. If there is no cap to it, like I don't see any reason why there wouldn't be any more funding to sustainability fee right now. With that, I am recognizing that it's possible for the cap for the sustainability fee to increase with advocacy over to the board trustees. So with that, I'm motioning with second for Senator Belster to contingency motion to change the sustainability fee to $1.69 per credit if the bank does increase to allow that amount.
I do have a point of information. Can we vote on that? Is that perfect? All right.
Did you already pass it?
No.
That's the resolution. Yep, it's in the resolution.
It's already in writing.
Yeah.
So you've already passed that.
That's okay. That's what I assumed. Great. Okay. We don't need this. Resolution already confirmed this. Just letting everyone know.
It's about 0 for now.
Not yet. So for the sustainability fee at this point, it is still technically 0.0. We do still need to vote on that at the very least. So do we have any other points of discussion for this? Yes.
I've seen consensus on where the fee is at. I don't see any like debate on it, so I'm going to call the question.
Second.
Do we have okay, we see seconds. Any dissents? Seeing none, we call this into question. Once again, I'm going to be doing this by a roll call vote. For Zoom, I am actually going to have you guys just send me your answers in Zoom right away, and I will get them as I go. Direct message to me, please, not to everyone. All right, Senator Aubert?
Yes.
Senator Heiber?
Yes.
Senator Vaughn?
Abstain.
Senator Dietrich?
Betcha.
Senator Olson? Senator Reyes? They're on Zoom. Senator Nguyen?
Yes.
Woodward on Zoom. Zelmer not here. Megan Cumming? Or Senator's Cumming, sorry.
Yes.
Senator Hillica?
Yes.
Senator Androli? Not here. Senator Willie? Senator Belschner?
Yes.
Stokes not here. Senator Alvarez Reyes? Senator Beckerman? Aye. Senator Liu?
Yes.
Senator Ray?
Yes.
Senator Wickersham not here. President Colleran?
Yes.
Vice President Coughlin?
Yes.
And sorry, guys. All right, and this passes with unanimous consent. And Senator Knauer?
Yes.
Thank you. Passes with unanimous consent. Not yet.
There they are.
All right. Does anyone have any comments they would like to make or? No? Perfect.
Once you pass these next two, then I will.
All right, perfect. Next up, we have the campus rec facilities and dome fee.
Okay, so this was presented over to y'all, I want to say a few weeks ago for campus rec and dome fee. This is a initiative that's been voted on through referendum by the student body several years back, and we are given review for this and just make sure we vote on it to say we're okay with it. We as Senate do not have the power to change this fee, as it's just conversation on saying the review for it. I'm recognizing time right now. I have many discussions with y'all on these type of fees. I've seen no dissent to this kind of fee, so I'm gonna motion call question right now.
Second.
All right, do we see any dissents? All right, seeing none, then that means that we will call this into question. We are going to do a placard vote for this one. Everybody, please raise your placards if you are in favor of this. Put them way up. All right, Zoom, please use the hand buttons for me. All right, this passes with unanimous consent. All right, moving on. Hello? Dad, hold on. Hello? Perfect. Okay. Yes.
So as you can see, up in front of you is the overall student fee comparison from fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 27. The highlighted numbers are those numbers that you have recommended, and this will become part of the fee package that I forward to Dr. Brian Jones for his recommendation and for support, and then on to President Inch for approval, which will then go on to the Board of Trustees. So as you can see, you can see what the per credit fee is for 1 to 12 credits, and along with what the banded max will be at 13 plus. Your total cumulative increase to the student fees for next year is 0.4%. And so again, just to recap, nothing needs to go to referendum, and this is what will go forward to the president for his approval. So that's kind of where you are. If there are any questions, I'm happy to try to answer those. Again, if you have questions, I will put a PDF of this in there. I just can't have you all going in and playing with these numbers because this is what I have to have. So if you look at the bottom, budgeted fee paying credit hours, those are the numbers that we're using. So 279,610 was what was used last year. 318,407 is what's used this year. So that has affected where you've been able to keep the fees for this year. So I'll answer any questions that you might have, but otherwise this is what will go forward to the president.
Do you have any questions? Excellent. Seeing none, we move on to the Armstrong Hall Replacement Priority Change Resolution. All right, would the motioner like to speak on?
Always. Okay. So I know I'm looking at time right now. We got a little bit of ways, but I do want to share this resolution as fast as I possibly can and possibly get voting because this is very time sensitive. So when it comes to the priority change for Armstrong Hall, we're looking at the bonding bill for the Armstrong replacement projects. If y'all don't know and y'all haven't attended the past couple Senate meetings, Armstrong Hall's foundation building for the houses 40% of in-person classes with the university. And with that, it's a very important building, but the building is deteriorating. An example is 5,500 gallons of sewage water in the basin of the psychology department in Armstrong Hall last summer. With that need for funding, the funding request is put in through the mid-state system through the board trustees. They have done a priority list of what will happen across the request for it. And with that priority list, there's the top three items are HEAPR, which is basic upkeep for some universities and colleges. There's a project for the College of St. Cloud, College of St. Cloud, and also the third item is replacement Armstrong Hall. We as students are seeing the effects of having Armstrong Hall be on number 3 and not number 1. Especially when we are the biggest academic building inside the mid-state system of Armstrong Hall. So with that, this resolution has very strong advocacy to change the placement of the priority that the mid-state assesses for this bonding project to change from number 3 across system to number 1. That's why that's the biggest thing happening for this resolution. with the last be resolved. I also do want to use this resolution to make our formal stance on the new Armstrong Hall, as that has not been written into resolution, where we have a strong stance on having the need for replacement of Armstrong Hall. So with that, that's the main thing that we have with this resolution. The whereas in between the context and the be resolved is basically background, like why is it deteriorating and why is it a really bad situation for the building. So I'm going to respect time and end there and yield to my second.
Yeah, Andrew pretty much hit it on the head. This is in a time crunch, so if there are any questions, please let us know. But I think it's pretty straightforward, and Andrew did a good job of explaining it, so yield back.
Do we have any discussion or points of question? Yes?
Thank you, Speaker Andre. I am in strong favor of passing this resolution today with one specific thing. The final whereas right before the first be it resolved. The term reparations, I do not believe is the proper term. I believe an amendment to be repairs would be a better term to use in that spot. So I was wondering if the first and second would be open to a friendly amendment to change that word to say repairs.
I'll take the friendly amendment.
All right, that friendly amendment has been accepted. Do you want to put that in writing? No, I'm kidding. Do we have any other points of discussion? Senator Dietrich?
I am also requesting a friendly amendment. In the, hang on, after the first whereas, further whereas, it says phycology and not psychology.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think that should be spelled correctly. So would you accept a friendly amendment to change that to psychology?
If you can spell it for me, yes.
I just fixed it.
Okay.
Perfect. Do we have any other points of discussion? All right, seeing none, we move into a vote. Please raise your placards high if you are in the affirm of this measure, of this resolution. Yes, would you like to motion?
I motion to expedite this resolution to this week.
Second.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I thought that was already done because you had told me you had already done that. Okay. Sorry, we had not gotten a second on that. All right, with that, with the measure expedited, please raise your placards if you are in affirm for this motion or this resolution. All right. Please raise your placards if you are in dissent of this resolution. Zoom. Excellent. All right. This motion passes with unanimous decision. Unanimously. Goodness. All right. Moving on down the agenda. We have nothing in old business, so that means we move into announcements. Do we have anybody for announcements that would like to speak? Senator Hillica.
Thank you, Speaker Andre. I'd just like to say I'm having a meeting with the Vice Provost next week, so if anybody has anything that they would like me to communicate to the Provost's office, please come to me before Wednesday next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other announcements? John Bocock?
Thank you, Speaker Andre. Just a few things, as I noted and promised, that were not related to the topics of the day. Greek Week is next week. On Monday, there will be a cookout open to any and all students. The first 300 students will be able to have a free hot dog or hamburger lunch, compliments of the Greek community. On Tuesday, there's a can drive that will benefit the local food pantries. On Wednesday, there is a cardboard boat regatta that is always a hilarious event to watch over in the Highland Center pool. And then on Thursday is the always anticipated lip sync event that will take place at 7 p.m. in Ostrander Auditorium. And then let's see here. I don't need to talk about Mallfest yet. That's a month away still. Also next week, we know the Attorney General is going to be on campus talking about voter registration efforts that will take place in the fall. Legislative Affairs Coordinator Ashton Morris is on that along with their committee. And then just a couple of updates. You're going to be seeing, we've hit the time of the semester, folks, when there's like 4 weeks, 5 4 weeks-ish of productive time left, okay? So when we talk about legacy and we talk about getting stuff done, you're gonna see a request to confirm whether or not you'll be at the end of the year banquet for student government, because we're gonna be looking at dietary needs and all that kind of stuff. And we also have to pay per person on that, so you will be asked for an RSVP on that. Also, the inauguration of the 94th student government will have several awards presented. I have received those award recipient names from your leadership, and they will be presented there, as well as scholarship recipients who benefit from a partnership as part of the bookstore contract. And so those scholarships are out being judged as we speak, and we will recognize those recipients at the inauguration as well. So you'll hear about a lot of events coming up, a lot of deadlines and things like that. So please be on the lookout for that information so that we can get that stuff done in a timely manner. So thank you and have a good week.
All right, do we have any other announcements? Go ahead.
During our meeting today, NASA successfully launched the Artemis 2 mission around the moon, and that's pretty cool.
Yay! That is great. I do have one announcement of my own, very briefly. I will say for everybody in here, first off, thank you guys for all sitting through these long meetings. I appreciate it. I know I myself am tired, if you couldn't tell by me forgetting to motion to expedite. But apart from that, I will say I know that we've had some high tensions here lately, and I know that we've had some brief discussions about some heightened tensions and whatnot. I more than encourage you guys to go out and try to solve these on your own, rather than using the floor to discuss them. That means that if we have further issues come up in the future, I will be ruling them out of order. I have let you guys speak previously. I will also be including this in the email. But if we do have any personal issues, I highly, highly request that you guys solve them on your own time and on your own terms and outside of a meeting where we were supposed to be representing students and not our own personal interests and aggravations. Thank you. With that, I see no other announcements. And roll call has been called out. Unless you have an announcement? Oh, you do. Wonderful.
Okay, so I know the difference between us getting out, so I know the difference for us getting out, so I'll make it very quick. I just want to announce we made it past budget season. So it's like we've had really strong conversations and really hard and very tough conversations. I just want to say I'm really proud of y'all. I really appreciate the conversations we brought to it. We have had we've had very strong decisions, but almost all of them have reached a consensus. And to me, that means a lot as a student senate and people who represent students. So finally, I just want to give y'all a round of applause. Thank you so much, y'all.
With that, I adjourn.
Mr. Hillica. Coordinator Hillica. What's going on? When are we gonna play Magic the Gathering? I don't know. Some Commander. I would say. Some Commander.
I was like, oh, finally we can vote on this and I can just go home.
Exactly.
Oh.
I will be up until at least 4.
Oh, yeah, his videos are crazy.
Otherwise, we'll run out of budget.
Yeah, I didn't show up until 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was.
Batman?
My final word count was 15,000 words.
I'm walking in it, but then
And
everything.
it was
15000?
yes. It's 15,000 words.
Wait, what major is it?
Thomas
Poli-sci?
Englund comparative politics.
What is it that screen?
I've heard
Like 200 or what?
Yeah.
Not poly-sci.
Oh.
I wish I could.
By the way, I got 1+. Okay, 3+.